Hi.
Hello. Go for Eddie.
Okay. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing either. I'm tired.
It's 5:50. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. So, we are going to do a video this evening discussing things to do outside of the Disney parks.
I'd rather just be cussing.
Right. So, this is at Disney World. And this is if you are still only staying on property like we do. We don't ever rent a car and go to the beach. I know we're crazy. Or we don't hop over to Universal. Or we don't just do stuff around Orlando. We stay
Maybe
on
sometime.
property.
We're
Maybe.
just kind of Disney fanatics.
Kind of crazy.
Disney addicts.
So
Fanny addicts.
we can only speak into
An attic for fannies. A place to store your extra ass.
we can only speak to if you stayed on property, what are some of the things that you can do outside of the parks? And I have a feeling we're not going to be able to list them all because we don't probably know them all. And we haven't done even the ones that I've made a list about. But
We can for sure talk
Hello.
about what we know and what
Hi,
we've
buddy.
done. I mean, one thing we always do is pretty much the day that we get
Arrival
to
day.
Orlando, we first try to see if we can check into our room. Usually we're always there too early. So we either jump on the bus or the boat, depending on where you're staying, and we head to Disney Springs.
yes. So Disney Springs is
Disney Springs.
it's a gigantic area that is full of
a big
restaurants
shopping area.
and shopping and high-end shopping.
Great restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say maybe 50% of the stores I like to go into. 50% are stuff that I'm not interested into.
Well, and it's a mixture of like restaurants too, where there's table service and there's quick service. There's food trucks. There's actually entertainment. They have a stage there. We've seen on Friday nights. They have
They got a couple places where you can get
musicians.
just beer right outside. You
Yeah.
can walk around with your beer.
They have dockside margaritas where you can just grab a margarita. Also, something that we've not done, but they have there though, they do have a bowling alley and they have a movie theater. So, I do know that those things are extremely expensive there, but they do have those things there. So if you don't have a car and go off property, you can still see a movie or go
The
bowling.
restaurants and shopping though are crazy. I mean, there are so many restaurants. We've only been to not even a handful.
No.
Shopping though, you got the biggest Disney store, World of Disney.
World of Disney. It's huge.
You're gonna have stuff for your clothes, your apparel. You're gonna have stuffed
Home.
animals. You're gonna have kitchen stuff.
Yes.
It's crazy in there. It's huge. I think
Luggage,
there's like 4 or
like-
5 entrances.
Yeah.
Entrances. Why can't I say that word today?
I don't know. I guess I'm thinking, what's the other place that has where all the luggage is at, where the cool dress shop is at, with really
Oh,
cute
that's
dresses.
that corner market. That's different.
Yeah,
I'm
but-
thinking of World of Disney.
World Disney, tons of stuff, and tons of Dooney Burke bags and
Because the place she's talking about too, I'm forgetting the name of it. Corner Market,
no,
Market Square.
I don't know.
No, man, we're gonna look this up after this is done. It's gonna drive me up a wall. But they sell art,
Yeah,
like good art. Like it looks good.
they have jewelry. I mean, on one of the places I know they have Pandora, but just tons of stuff to do, just flat out in Disney Springs. I mean, you could totally do a couple of days at Disney Springs and still probably not get your fill. So, and there's also that big hot air balloon that goes up that is attached to the ground, but I forget what it's called. They have those aquacar like boat car things.
Oh yeah,
at
so there's
the
a car that goes in
boathouse.
the water, and now it's a boat.
Yeah, they have expensive. It's cost a lot extra, but yeah. So tons of stuff to do. That's just at Disney Springs. And when I mentioned the bowling alley, I forgot there's a couple of miniature golf courses.
They got miniature golf course. They got the water parks.
Property. Yeah, but that's still in a park. So you don't have to go into the water because the water parks are
okay.
admission like the parks.
That's true.
Maybe not as expensive as like Magic Kingdom and all
All
that.
right.
but
Well, each resort has its pool or pools.
yeah.
They pretty much all have like their main big pool.
Yeah.
Not always with a water slide, because there wasn't a water slide.
There's
in
not
Pop,
any of the
right?
value. No, the values don't have water slides. Moderate and deluxe have
Okay.
slides. But yeah, so there's always the main pool, and there's usually maybe 1 to 2, depending on what resort you're at. Even in values, smaller, kind of more quiet pools because they're not as popular as the big, gigantic main one. So, I mean, sure, you just because you're staying at one resort, sure, you can't pool hop as they call it, but you can go visit restaurants at other resorts. You probably want to take an Uber, take a minivan, taxi, whatever. Or if you have a rental car, then you can do that. But there's lots of nice restaurants at different resorts, so you're not paying to get into the park.
And they have their little lounge area where you can still get like food, maybe it's like snacky foods, and have a drink. We love doing it at Port Orleans Riverside.
Yes.
The River Roost Lounge.
Yes, and the River Roost Lounge is popularly known for having one of the most popular entertainers on site, and that is, what is his name?
Bob.
Yeehaw Bob.
Bob.
Yes. He plays piano, he tells jokes, he sings along. It's just a lot of fun. I mean, people come there just to see Yeehaw Bob. And we know that locals that will come and see him. So he's been performing there for decades, I think. So there's a lounge there. You know, a lot of the moderate resorts, they have lounges. Again, like Eddie was saying, you can get small bites and beverages. And
cocktails,
yes.
beer.
So at some of the resorts, some of the deluxe resorts on site, I know that for sure the Grand Floridian and then Saratoga Springs, and I'm probably forgetting some other ones, but they have spas that you can go to. So massages and hair and makeup and facials and manicures and pedicures and all that kind of stuff. Of course, they're probably pricey, but also speaking of a spa, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. They have one, they have one at Magic Kingdom, but they also have one at Disney Springs. So if you want to get the little princess makeover, and they actually even have some for adults too. So all that kind of stuff. At some of the resorts, they have Riverside. They had these.
Oh, the Surrey bikes.
The Surrey bikes.
Oh man, I know another thing they have at pretty much all the resorts is an arcade.
Oh yeah.
Now it's not the arcade like I remember going to as a kid, but I'm old. They don't have any pinball games. They don't have the cool arcade games, but they still have fun stuff. They have stuff that I wouldn't mind playing. They have like a giant Space Invaders. It's like for 2 people.
Yeah.
And you got the ships coming down. You got to shoot them.
Yeah.
They got the giant Pac-Man. I've seen that. But then they got a whole bunch of crap. I don't know what it is. They still got skee ball usually. The Pop-A-Shot.
The little hoop thing. Yeah. So yeah, all resorts have arcades. Some are bigger than others.
They had that game Anthony used to play too, where you hit the lights.
Oh yeah.
And the one that you were really bad at, where you jump rope and you landed on it first go around.
We're not going to go there. We just did,
Just
didn't we? Yeah. So, I mean, they have bike rentals, like we were just saying. At Port Orleans Riverside, they have fishing.
Yep.
I know I didn't really want to mention boats because I think there's been some things that have changed with boats. And what do they call when they have the, in the back, parasailing? I think they had some of that like at their Contemporary and stuff, but I think something went finito with like the contract with that company that, I don't know. So they're not doing that anymore. But the big thing that they have at Riverside, I know we keep talking about Riverside, but that's where we've stayed a couple times. And we're very familiar with the carriage rides there. $45 for like 20 minutes. I feel like our carriage ride was closer to 30 minutes. And it went through the French Quarter Resort and through Riverside.
It was very relaxing. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
The horse wasn't too gassy.
It was a little stinky, but...
You didn't have any torpedoes on deck where you really smell the farts.
It was very romantic and very nice. We had talked about doing that, and we finally checked that off our list when we were there in 2017. So,
my thing, whenever you get to a resort, especially if you don't have a park day right away, I would walk around, see what all they have, because you might be missing stuff. Yeah. They even did stuff when we were there so it was 2017, when Disney World parks were shut down for 2 days.
The hurricane.
When we finally got not quarantine. So we weren't quarantined to our rooms, but it was what they call that?
A curfew.
A curfew.
Yeah.
So when the curfew was lifted, and you were able to go out, since the parks were still closed, you could only go around your resort. But they had a tie-dye T-shirt station for the kids.
I think that's there actually. They had that there at Pop Century. We were there last time, and
you just let me finish, and that'd be great.
Sorry.
Chip and Dale and Goofy were out there dancing with the kids.
Characters were on the resort. Yes, at the resort.
I wasn't asking for more and stuff like that. I just knew it was a hurricane, it was curfew. It was just nice to be out walking around. Couldn't wait to get back to the park, but I had no complaints because we already found out that most likely we were going to get refunded for the 2 park days.
Pretty much.
So I wasn't looking for all this special stuff. But then I saw Chip and Dale and Goofy. I'm like, that's awesome. They're doing that for the kids
Yeah.
and the families that are bored sitting around for 2 days and stuff like that. They take care of their people, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because, characters can be at some of the resorts because they have character dining at some of the deluxe resorts. But at a moderate resort, you don't have any kind of character interaction. So that was like,
Never seen
it was
that.
so cool to see them like in the lobby of the resort. So something else that they have, and I'm thinking mainly over at Fort Wilderness, they have, I don't know if you call it dinner theater or whatever, but they have
The Hoop-Dee.
Hoop-Dee Review. So that's a nice sit down. They have a show and everything. They have a couple of things. I think the Mickey's Backyard Barbecue, though, I think that ended because they had some construction over that area and that area, whatever. But they still have the Hoop-Dee Review. I think it's the longest, whatever of a
Running show.
thank you, longest running dinner theater show in the country or something to that effect. So tons of stuff to do outside of the parks.
And again, we know we're missing a lot.
A lot.
I mean, this is some of the stuff we know about, and only a couple of the stuff we've done. I mean, when we go, like I said, we enjoy our resort time. We're really going to enjoy the crap out of Boardwalk.
Yes.
I mean, the first 2 days we're going to be walking around, checking out restaurants, checking out a couple different places, some shopping.
Because they have things. They have the Abracadabra bar there. That's what
Abracadabra is going to happen.
they have that. They have the dueling piano bar.
Yeah,
they have a dance hall.
They have so much stuff that we're
Oh
going
my
to try.
gosh.
But when it's park time, I mean, we're in park mode. We're for sure openers. We are there for rope drop every park day.
Yeah.
Probably 2 or 3 out of the 5 days, we close the park and we go home tired as hell.
Pooped.
But the thing, when you get to resort, walk around, check it out. Walk down to the other rooms because there might be something you're missing that's just cool to look at, take a few pictures, just like with Pop Century and all the different
like huge.
demons, the giant Rubik's Cube,
Yeah, the big
the
wheel.
Pac-Man decals
Yeah.
on the buildings. It's amazing. No matter where you stay, walk around, see what it's like. Get immersed in your resort.
Well, and the other thing too, all the resorts we've been at, which is like going to be 4 now, but they all have those movies. Is it every night? They have a movie.
I want to say almost every night, like on a lawn
They
somewhere.
have, on the lawn at Port Orleans Riverside. It's over by the Princess Rooms. Amber, I know you're going to be staying over that area. They'll get a big, like, what was one of those pop-up kind of screens,
Mm-hmm.
and you just bring a blanket out, towel, whatever, chairs, towel, whatever.
And it's all Disney movies.
all
you can
Disney
bring,
movies.
You can bring your kids.
Yeah.
It's just going to be a bunch of Disney cartoon movies,
Mm-hmm.
and you can chill.
Yeah, and they have a sign up by where it's at, and they have the information also too in the lobby, probably in the rooms too.
Check out the front desk.
Yeah.
If you have questions too. Another thing that I think I've seen at every resort we've been to is someone that does caricatures.
Oh yeah, caricatures. Mm-hmm.
You can get those done while you're there. Of course, it's still going to cost you. Nothing's free at Disney. It's going to cost
Not even
you.
the pressed pennies.
I don't know how much, because we've never had it done, because
Mm-hmm.
this isn't beautiful like this. I don't want to see it as a caricature. I feel like I'm a walking caricature. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. I'm so tired. But yeah, walk around the resort. Again, they each resort too has their own gift shops, which just has plenty of cool stuff, and usually have stuff that's like resort themed.
It's geared toward the resort. They have They have the little pins now.
T-shirts, hats,
Mugs.
stuff that say, I stayed at this resort, without saying it. It's just neat looking stuff.
Yeah.
I might have to get a Boardwalk T-shirt. I saw a video we watched on YouTube where it's Goofy, like in surf shorts, tank top, and that looked pretty cool.
Yep. So that's all we're gonna have for now on what to do outside of Disney parks and Disney World.
So if we've missed anything that maybe you guys have tried, or that you want us to look into, maybe we do another video and get back to you. Like, comment, subscribe,
Share
and stay tuned for more Tall Tales.
and short stories.
She told me to wrap that crap up.